Hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. Wolf's introduction is long, isn't it? I don't remember. Well, because I did Kembish, right? That was only a couple parts, and then I did the other introduction. No, I did both Thenba and Kembish. Those weren't nearly as long as this. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but you all can tell me in the comments. The wolf opts to spend the night seeking answers, and wanders into the trackless desert in search of something that might affirm his expectations. Any familiar signs of life will do, even the shyest herb or blade of grass upon which a cow might graze. He walks the hotel's perimeter, hoping to use the cliff's elevation to get a better view of his surroundings. He sees the parking lot and the road, and then a sudden gust of wind splashes color into the sterile void. Flowers sway in the breeze, bathing the wolf in a fragrance as gentle as the almost insubstantial bunches of pure white blossoms, six-petaled, beckon him with their languid wave. From the drooping bush and haggard tree beyond, stronger herbal odors waft towards him, somewhere between oregano and eucalyptus from one, with the addition of pine and mint from the other. Two figures stand in the garden center, a man with one hand outstretched, and a faithful watchdog at his side. Each is so lifelike that he dares not intrude further upon their sanctuary. The peace they exude, he knows, cannot be taken for granted. Nevertheless, the wolf is relieved enough to find a place where normal plants can grow. Whether or not they are out of season is beyond his ability to reckon. Okay. Such is the garden's tranquility that he cannot help but sink into the ground and start to doze breath the statue's watchful eye, hoping their eternal companionship will prove an example to men in the shelter behind them. When it comes time for him to reveal himself, the wolf wakes. Wakens. There's an end there. Before dawn, just as the evening star had begun to fade. However, more hospitable the hotel might be than the wasteland outside, the desert shows a friendlier face at night than any he has seen within its walls. Here, beneath the dancing asphodels, he can scarcely imagine the burning hellscape it becomes during the heat of the day. The morning air is cool, and though the stars are unfamiliar, their presence makes for a breathtaking vista. Perhaps here he can allow himself to imagine a friendlier world than the one to which he has become accustomed. He makes his way back inside while weighing his options. It would be safer to return to his previous hiding spot and continue his observations unnoticed. But on the other hand, analoga slim, as the case may be, it would doubtless be more valuable to find another vantage point from which he may watch events unfold. The shady space beneath the stairs has served him well, but he has learned about as much as he can with hearing alone. He knows when people are most active and how best to flee in the situation if the situation shifts. Not that it would be hard to lose potential pursuers in an infinite maze. Could he live out in the desert alone? Should it come to that? Could he find an exit back to the tundra? He's sure to be discovered, given enough time, whether as a result of his own carelessness, or some unknown property of the hotel's architecture being used against him. For that matter, The longer he lingers without revealing himself, the likelier that someone will take issue with his presence. Food going missing is a dead giveaway, even if he covers his tracks in all other respects. Given all possible outcomes, he would rather meet this land's denizens on his own terms, and should the consequences prove disastrous, better to rip the bandage off rather than allow fear to fester. That, of course, raises the question, what context would give him the best chance to prove he means no harm? Robbed of his nose, his tracking skills have been diminished by several orders of magnitude, yes. His chance of singling out an individual, or even a small group of would-be wildlife ambassadors, is slim to none. Regardless, he must find someone willing to take him in. He has only just wedged himself beneath the staircase when he picks up a distant tremor. Though he struggles to hear it, he can feel the reverberations through the stone. Someone is approaching. By his guess, it has to be the weight of an adult, though he never imagined a man so adept at moving with near feline grace. As the footsteps pass over him, he catches a slight breeze, proof that the individual is, deceptively broad of frame for one so adept at sneaking. The smell, too, seems to be at odds with his other senses. There's a sense of the outdoors, a rugged odor of sweat and sun, powerful enough to be almost acrid to the wolf's sensitive snout. Though it is surely animal in origin, his ears cannot be fooled. It walks upright like a man, whatever it really is. Once it has passed, the wolf wriggles from his hiding place as discreetly as he can. The hour is not too late, and this new creature bears immediate investigation. If another beast has wandered into the hotel, there may yet be hope for him. He catches sight of the hybrid shortly after and stops short, trying to puzzle out its origin. A bull and a human may be an odd pair of progenitors, but it makes a degree of sense that the bovine biped he saw would be the offspring of such a couple. An eagle and a cougar, however, are incompatible in ways which go beyond mere disregard for social mores. It must have been a truly unfortunate accident of nature that this catbird came to be at all, but it nevertheless looks to be thriving. Who better to befriend than an assured outcast? It navigates the metal forest without breaking stride, and the wolf watches intently from behind the rocky plateau which separates the two of them as the creature begins working its magic. While much of his view of the white obelisk through which it rummages is hidden behind the catbird's wings, he recognizes the contents of its claws as food the moment it turns around. Oh, whatever this white cuboid is, the hybrid has a command of its physiology that cannot be overlooked. It does not stir at the creature's touch, only letting out the same low hum he heard on his first foray into the kitchen as the catbird plunders it of meat and eggs in abundance. Tittering bird's song fills the air, as does the scent of sustenance. The creature has begun vocalizing, humming softly to itself as its food cooks. Glad as the wolf was to find any repast here in days prior, a hot meal is a prospect that excites his instincts. The closest he can naturally come to warm food in the wild is a fresh kill. And his mind cannot help but make the association. Every drop of fat that becomes airborne settles right into the wolf's olfactory bulb, triggering a rush of dopamine. His mouth is full of drool in mere moments, and his tail bursts into an ecstatic wag. Whatever his initial misgivings about this thing or its species, anyone who appreciates meat to such a degree is a worthy friend indeed. Before its stomach can overtake him completely, the wolf barks to attract the hybrid's attention. Upon noticing him, the corners of his beak seem to curve upward into a smile. "Well, hey there! You're a big fella, now ain't ya? Who's a good boy? Who is?" The wolf's fur bristles as the creature draws closer, but he roots himself to the spot for fear of another social setback, costing him this chance. The catbird grabs a piece of half-cooked bacon in one claw and squats, letting the wolf sniff it and approach in his own time. "Easy there, boy. I ain't gonna hurt you. Old Luke knows what you're after. Ain't met a dog yet that didn't love bacon." Like any animal presented with such an enticing treat, the wolf can hardly believe his good fortune. He waits for the inevitable catch, anticipating any sudden movements, such as the hybrid's hand shooting upwards to take him unawares, much like the bull man before him. Just like any other stray, he is slow to trust. However, life tends to happen while we make other plans. The wolf's prospective weeks of carefully testing boundaries evaporates with a single act of goodwill. In the time it takes the wolf to consider whether or not he should take the bacon, Luke has set it down and backed a few steps away. The wolf steps forward and snatches up the offering, smacking his chops in satisfaction as he bites into his savory snack. After he has swallowed it, he licks the space of the floor where it landed until he is sure he has gotten every last bit of nutrition. Toothsome grease. Then the wolf pads gingerly towards the still squatting catbird to offer his gratitude, such as it is. In a flash, his tongue darts out to bathe his benefactor's fingers in drool, and his nose nuzzles Luke's palm in kind. He is careful to resist the urge to nip at the scaly flesh of the eagle's talons, no matter how tasty the bacon fat which coats them may be. "See? Better a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, ain't it?" What? Okay. Never heard that phrasing before, but okay. The creature rises to his feet, and the wolf scampers back to a safe distance, only for the siren's song of crispy, thick-cut bacon to draw him inexorably back to Luke's side. This time he eats it straight from the benefactor's hand, letting out a yelp of anticipation when he's through. The courage swells in the wolf's chest, with each morsel of meat that lands in his stomach, though he still scampers back whenever Luke attempts to draw closer than arm's length. However willing the hybrid may be to lavish his new pet with physical affection, the gesture remains foreign to the wild animal. Wolves at play are prone to all manners of roughhousing, growling, and capturing about as they please, none of which is appropriate within the cramped confines of the hotel's interior with a near-total stranger. It is still too much too soon. Once it becomes clear that he will not be receiving any further treats for the moment, the wolf chooses to stand a respectable distance away while his new acquaintance finishes preparing his own food. There is no need for the Lupin to remain underfoot. Even even as Luke whistles for his attention and beckons him towards a table, he thinks better of venturing near enough to touch. Still, the eagle's table manners arouse some manner of curiosity in his animal companion. Despite the fact that his beak is better suited to tear meat into into bite-sized chunks, Luke couldn't care less, swallowing a sausage-like whole and shoveling mountains of hash brown bacon and eggs into his mouth with abandon. The hybrid takes no time at all to finish eating, after which he continues to make his occasional diplomatic overture towards his new friend. The wolf listens in a manner, turning his head towards Luke when he's called, but recognizing nothing beyond the fact that he's being talked to. He only responds when he hears footsteps approaching, turning towards the lounge's entrance and barking thrice at the arrival of a group of strange lizards, each about the size of a child 3 or 4 years old. Reptiles seldom smell of anything. It is more difficult for scents to cling to scales than to seep into the mammal's fur, for instance. However, the creature catches a faint, musty odor. It's a rock upon which moss has just begun to grow, or a room that hasn't been dusted in some time.
What is it, boy? Someone fall down a well?
By the time Luke has risen to his feet, the strangers have scurried away. The wolf resists the urge to chase them down, though he could drive them back towards the lounge to see what the catbird can make of them with little effort. In allowing them to escape and thus alert more people to his presence, the wolf has chosen to make his stance. Whoa. The wait, though brief, is agonizing, especially when he hears them return, accompanied by a familiar set of hoofbeats. Okay. A short while later, the bull man makes his entrance, only to stiffen up at the sight of the wolf, much to the consternation of the 3 lizards cowering behind his enormous frame. Their eyes meet, but neither move or make a sound until Luke's blithe spirit breaks through the awkwardness. Both turn towards him in equal confusion, although the wolf at least has the excuse of an inability to comprehend human language.
Hey Angus, perfect timing. I found this stray dog. Looks like he just wandered in. No collar or tag or nothing. You figure I could get you to whip up a leash or something for him.
Luke, I do not know how best to say this, but that is not a dog, it is a wolf. A wild animal does not have a need for a collar.
Nonsense. He might be playing hard to get right now, but he was, taking treats, right out of my hand earlier. Give him a little time to warm up to you, and I guarantee he's friendly.
As much as I'd like to believe that, I would rather not take the chance. You have seen the monsters that lurk beyond the hotel's walls. The animals of the desert, even the plants, if given the opportunity, they will do harm to all who come near them, especially me.
I ain't arguing with that, but has one of them ever waited this long to attack once someone got close enough?
No, I suppose not, but...
Besides, the hotel's magic is supposed to keep them away, ain't it? They ain't never come close to entering, much less begging for food, have they?
In that case, he could be like the foreman. Argos the seldom hurt me directly, but he is he is as much a monster of the labyrinth as any other, although more wily than most of his brethren.
Oh, please. Anyone could tell he doesn't belong out in the desert. His fur's too thick. Poor thing, thing to overheat faster in a griddle in summer. And I ain't in the hotel's mission. To give a home to those who need it. I'd say a stray like him qualifies.
It is, but think of the other guests for a moment. Even if he is not a monster, per se, that does not mean he is not a danger. There is no guarantee that he will not frighten or even harm one of the other guests. It's not like we can have him sign the check-in forms. The kobolds tell him he barks at them, and when I first saw him, he jumped up to bite me on the mouth. What if he bites someone else?
You sure he wasn't just trying to lick your face or something? If he's really a wolf and about as wild and dangerous as you say, how do you get away? No offense, but you're too big a softy to fight off a real predator, I reckon.
I thought he was trying to hurt me, so I punched him.
And it shows. Poor guy's just about as scared as you are of him. You know what? Give me a minute. I think I got an idea to smooth things over between you two.
Okay. I think I'll end the part here, so I'll see you around, everyone.